housing is going to be. There's a very good article in the paper this morning that gives you a good idea of what will happen if the court sides with the Galveston Open Government Project. It'll be disastrous for our city. I favor the mixed income concept at the old Cedar Terrace site and at Magnolia Home site. I think where we're missing the boat is that we're not considering what kind of neighborhood we're going to build around that, around those sites. We have an opportunity to build a really good housing development around those sites north of Broadway if we can only stop seeing ghosts of poor people's past, and we can begin to envision what kind of neighborhood we want to build there. Working class, quality, affordable homes, small businesses, population growth, tax growth, all of that can be associated.
Thank you. Susan Fennerwald.
I've been opposed to the rebuilding of the public housing. When I didn't know too much about public housing, and I've read up on it, and I've read up on it, and I have books and statistics, and there is no way to responsibly rebuild all those units in Galveston. It is way too dense. We have more public housing per capita than Houston does, and that's without rebuilding. There is no way this community can thrive with this much public housing. So I think mixed income is unlikely to succeed at Cedar Terrace. I think it'll be a disaster. I think scattered sites will hurt communities where the poverty rate is already at 20%. That's what statistics and publications say. So I think we better hope that the lawsuit works and that the public housing can be spread around the county.
Thank you. Susan Fennerwald. Dr. Brown.
Well, as we all know, we're saying this is tied up in the courts at this point. We don't know what kind of plan is going to come out from this. I can say this, I do have three feelings about this. Whatever comes about, whatever the ruling is, we need to follow that and we need to move ahead. We have far bigger issues on this island that we need to turn our attention to make this island move forward. We also need to have a seat at the table with the GLO as this moves forward, whatever it is. And we need to build those relationships back with the GLO and have a say in this whole process. That is something that concerns me quite a bit, as this is moving along without input from our community. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now for your closing statements. Mr. Beatty, we'll begin with you.
I was educated at Prairie View University, Texas Southern University School of Law. Again, I mentioned that our progress post-Ike has been seriously stalled, and we need to get busy to cure some of the problems that we have and move our city forward. We need honesty and integrity in our government. We need to build consensus. We need to solve these problems. We need to get to the root cause of the problems. I hope this doesn't turn into another referendum on public housing. We tried that, we did that. You see where it got us. We have not progressed from 2012. I made a statement then in answer to the similar question, and my answer was that no matter what happens with public housing, whether it returns or whether it doesn't, we have many, many other situations that we need to deal with. The courts will decide. That will be maybe soon, maybe later. But we have golden opportunities here, certainly to build our population, tax base, new businesses, cure the food deserts that exist in the city, balance the needs of our citizenry, our retirees against the needs of tourism, establish a comprehensive bus system that will take us to the mainland and beyond, and return us. Our permitting process is not developer friendly. We can get to the bottom of that. We can cure that. As a matter of fact, I think that everything that we call problems here can be solved if we get a city council that can work together and work with the city manager on a positive relationship and really try to get to the core of our problems and cure them. I think that's the only way we're going to heal this city, move it forward.
Thank you. Stonewall, she's ready.
I'm ready. Galveston's residents deserve our attention. Our main problem is we're losing residents. We can't keep residents. People move, they don't want to live here. Or they sell out and to let the house become a vacation rental. Our district is plagued by decreasing homesteaded properties, increasing vacation rentals. I'm for regulating vacation rentals and preventing grandfathering so people don't lose investments, but preventing the ever-increasing number of vacation rentals. We need to stabilize our housing. We need to say no to developers sometime when it impinges on the residents. Galveston has never said no to anybody, even if the residents have an issue. And as a result, we're losing residents. So it's the best economic engine we have are our full-time residents, and we need to focus on them for a while instead of focusing on developers and tourists. We need to make sure that they get as much attention as developers and tourists.
Thank you, Susan Fenawal. Now Dr. Craig Brown.
Well, I'd like to thank Gain for having this forum. I'd like to thank George. Thank you for moderating, and I'd like to thank everyone here that has come. This is about my 8th forum through this campaign trail, and I would say that I learned from each one of these. I've learned from block walking. I've learned from talking to many of my neighbors and the citizens of Galveston about what our concerns are. You know, it's funny, I find that we all have basically the same idea about Galveston. We want it to get better, and we want to be proud of what our community is, and we want to raise our families here. I've learned that citizens are skeptical. They want to see actions, they want to see accomplishments, they don't want to hear talk anymore. And I agree with that. We don't need to necessarily, in my mind, make wholesale changes with all the programs that are going on. I think we have some programs that need to be tweaked, they need to be changed for the best interest of the community, but we can change these programs with City Council input, and we can make this turn around and make these programs better for the citizens of Galveston. I think we need to toot our own horn more. We have a wonderful community here. We can't compete with League City. We can't compete with Woodlands. But we do have this uniqueness here that is attractive to many families. We need to bring together the public relation forces that we have on the island. We market tourists, but we need to change that marketing also and apply that to bring residents to this island and bring business to this island. That's going to be very, very important. If I am fortunate enough to be elected to District 2, I will work as hard as I can, and I will help make these issues that I mentioned a reality. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Those were excellent responses from all three of them. Thank you very much. You may exit. Relax, because now we're going to get down on District 3. Kate Marks and Ralph McMorris. Kate Marks, please make your opening statement.
Well, thank you all for being here and sitting through the mayors in District 1 and 2, and it's kind of lonely up here now. I'm Kate Marks. I'm married to Ken. I have 4 daughters and almost 2 grandsons. I have one due any day now. My daughter has started labor. So I'm a licensed CPA. I've been in business 30 years, both in the corporate and public arenas. It's not our differences that are going to make us strong. It's all that we have in common that will strengthen the fabric of our community. Our infrastructure is worn out, and it has begun to be replaced. We need drains that are cleaned and streets that are paved, and we need to keep that focus to make sure that we have a systematic completion of these efforts. We need thoughtful and balanced approach to economic development. It's a fact, let me say that again, it's a fact that we need to expand our tax base to lower our burden. We need safety from storms. The Ike Dike is socially just, it's cost effective, and it provides rapid recovery for our residents. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm Kate Marks, and I'm in District 3.
Thank you. Now, opening statement from Ralph McMorris.
Thank you all for coming. One of the great things about Galveston is the volunteers. I've been volunteering almost since I got here in 2001. After Hurricane Ike, we had the Hurricane Recovery Committee come together. This was about 300 people. FEMA had never seen this kind of response in a city this size. This island is made of volunteers. Folks ask me, why are you running for this office? It's a volunteer office and it doesn't pay anything. Well, none of those other jobs, and functions pay anything either. But I think it's representative of this island that we all love it so much that we'll volunteer our time and our energies and our efforts to make this a better place. Now, we had a comprehensive plan that was developed by about 50 people over several years. When you hear folks talk about what they want to do, we already know what the bulk of the island wants to do. It's the comprehensive plan. And so we have a guidebook. It includes all the things everybody talks about. But we need council people that will commit to following that guidebook, and then we don't have the conflict and the lack of transparency and the problems we've seen before. So if y'all elect me, I'll follow the plan, and we'll work toward pulling everybody together to go in one direction, and then we don't have the problems. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Marks, do you have a question for Mr. McMorris?
No, I would choose not to. Thank you.
All right, Mr. McMorris has a question for you. A track record in Galveston is the best predictor of future success on the council. Most of the other candidates have had many years of community experience here in Galveston. In the 6 years you've lived in Palisade Palms, what District 3 neighborhood organizations have you been involved in, and what neighborhood issues have you led?
Well, I have spent my entire adult life in service. I work with Girl Scouts of San Jacinto Council. I serve on their board. We have 157 young women on this island that are in our programs, and I support them. I have been instructor. I'm also a Red Cross volunteer. I am an instructor trainer for Red Cross, and I have volunteered with them for over 15 years. I am in the Rotary organization here and have volunteered just so recently at the Grand Kids Festival, giving away bicycle helmets so that children will be safe. I have spent my entire adult life in service to my community.
Thank you very much. All right, now, since you're in the East End and you've got a lot of sand out there and a lot of swimmers and vacationers, we're going to run this one by you guys again. What is your position on vacation rentals? Do you feel they should be restricted or even banned on parts of the island? Mr. McMorris.
Well, I think vacation rentals and the folks that own them have fixed these up, and it's added a lot to the community within certain limits. I know in the East End where I live, there are limits on some of the rental properties. And if we're to build strong neighborhoods and have folks live in here year-round, we ought to look toward moving toward encouraging that more than going the other direction of vacation rentals. There's a lot of opportunities here for where to stay. There's a lot of hotels. There's more room to build hotels and to build places. So, it's all part of our land planning of what we want our island to be.
Thank you. Kate Marks.
I do not at all support the removal or regulation of short-term rentals. There are so many people that come to this island and buy property, put their hard-earned cash into this island. They spend their weekends here, and they hope to someday retire in those houses that they're buying. I talked to a woman with the strong organization of short-term rentals today, and she bought a house in my district and rehabbed that house, is now renting it with a view that she and her husband can move back here from Chicago so that they can retire in Galveston. It's often the means to afford that retirement home, and I will not restrict it.
Thank you. And finally, if you will also be representing downtown, here's a question from an audience member. Please speak to or expand upon your tactical and immediate versus theoretical plans to increase visibility of traffic to downtown businesses, specifically smaller businesses on Post Office Street, not just businesses on the Strand. Whew. Did you get all that? We can paraphrase it, I suppose. Please speak to or expand upon your immediate versus theoretical plans to increase. In other words, what you're going to do to get more people downtown besides just the Strand. Ralph, you can go first on that one.
One of the things I look forward to doing if I'm elected is pulling together the downtown merchants, residents, building owners, landowners in regular monthly meetings. We have to start there. What is best for downtown, and we need to develop a consensus of it so that we have the unity and the numbers to go to city council to get support. Right now, what we have are many different organizations kind of really competing with each other and not really getting that much done compared to what they should get done. So I have experience leading organizations like this and leading diverse groups and reaching consensus, and I just can't wait to get that opportunity because downtown Galveston ought to be one of the show places of the Gulf Coast, and it can be.
Thank you, Mr. Forrest. Now, Ms. Marks.
Well, the Downtown Partnership has done a wonderful job of leveraging a community grant in District 3 that's putting lighting all the way down Post Office Street. The Downtown Partnership then has come up with their part of the money to tack onto that Post Office Street district and bring it all the way down to the Strand with lighting designed to lead you safely from the Strand area up through those major corridor streets and into the post office, art galleries and shops and restaurants. So the Downtown Partnership, working with them, I don't need to recreate a wheel. They have done a wonderful job, and if you haven't stopped by their offices, I would encourage you to do so, because you will see all that is happening in downtown and how wonderful we can actually be.
Thank you, and as we say, welcome to Post Office Street here, Teresa Cloud. All right, closing statements. Kate Marks, you go first.
Well, in closing, thank you for sticking around. I want to take a page from the book of our late city hero, George P. Mitchell, who dreamed big, inspired by his big dreams. It's called The Strand. It's called Texas A&M Galveston. And it's called Pirates Beach and the West End. Mr. Mitchell was a businessman first. He was a real estate developer second. And he took those profits from those successful businesses and he became a major philanthropist. He provided a catalyst for revitalizing Galveston. And he said that it was up to the people of Galveston to take that vision forward. He understood the opportunities and how blessed we are to live on this island.